Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, and yet nothing changes? You pray, you seek God, you try to hold on to your faith, but deep inside, it feels like there's an invisible blockage, as if something is holding you back from moving forward spiritually. And then that quiet question begins to rise within you. God, what else can I do? Maybe the answer isn't to do more, but to go deeper, because there is a spiritual practice that many people know about, but very few truly understand. A practice that doesn't change God, but changes you. Fasting. But not in the superficial way most people think. True fasting isn't about simply not eating. It's about letting go of dependence on what is temporary to reconnect with what is eternal. It's when you say, God, you are more important to me than my comfort, my habits, even more important than what sustains my body. And that's exactly where something begins to shift. Fasting is not just an ancient religious practice. It is a spiritual key. In the Bible, fasting is always connected to moments of decision, spiritual warfare, and deep alignment with God. Even Jesus fasted before beginning his ministry. Esther fasted before facing a moment that could cost her life. The early church fasted before making important decisions. Notice the pattern. Fasting is not about lack. It is about direction, because when you reduce the noise of the world, and even the noise of your own desires, the voice of God becomes clearer. When you silence the flesh, the spirit becomes more sensitive. And that explains why fasting leads to transformation. It's not because you're trying to convince God to act, it's because you are positioning yourself to hear, discern, and obey. Jesus said, "This kind can come out only by prayer and fasting." There are spiritual battles that cannot be won with words alone. They require surrender, and fasting is exactly that surrender in action. How many times have you tried to overcome struggles by sheer willpower? How many times have you prayed, yet remained stuck in the same patterns? Fasting breaks that cycle, not because you become stronger, but because you stop relying on your own strength. Now let's bring this into practice. If you've never fasted before, start with humility. The first step is not to stop eating. It is to prepare your heart. Before any fast, pray a simple prayer. Lord, what do you want to work in me during this time? Because without spiritual intention, fasting becomes just physical effort. The second step is to define a clear purpose. Don't just say, I'm going to fast. Say, I'm fasting because I need direction. I'm fasting because I want to draw closer to God. The third step. Fasting without prayer is not fasting. Replace time spent eating with time spent with God. Read Scripture. Be still. Isaiah 58 shows the fasting that honors God. Psalm 63 reveals a soul that thirsts for Him. Matthew 6 teaches the right heart. The fourth step. Respect your body. Fasting is about alignment. Drink water. Rest. Start small. It can be anything that has been controlling you. The fifth step. Learn to deal with what fasting reveals. It exposes what is hidden: anxiety, pride, fear. God reveals these to heal you. True fasting is quiet, simple, and sincere. Isaiah 58:8 says, "Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear." The greatest result of fasting is how close you become to Him. You are removing everything that prevents you from hearing Him clearly. So, start simple. Maybe one meal or a few hours. Every time you choose God over comfort, something within you realigns. Fasting doesn't change God. Fasting changes you. And when you change, everything around you begins to respond differently. You are always welcome here. May God continue to bless you. With brotherly love, Minutes of Grace.